Hey guys, welcome to Mama's Basement and the game recap of Year 1 game number 3 against the San Jose State Spartans. Second home game of the year for us, and San Jose State gets it started off with Malik Robertson's 4-yard touchdown run. Spartans go up 7-0 nearing the end of the first quarter. Things got bad for the Thunderbirds after that. A blocked punt goes out of the back of the end zone for a safety, and San Jose State used that momentum to pull out to a 16-0 lead on Deontay Cooper's 6-yard touchdown run. Late in the second quarter now, with San Jose leading 26-0, Aaron Cantu throws a pick six with seconds remaining in the half to extend San Jose's lead out to 33-0 at the halftime break. The second half was a little bit better. San Jose mostly ran the ball to try to salt away the clock. They did strike again on this Tyler Winston touchdown pass from Kenny Potter. In the back of the end zone, he's able to get a foot down, and that gave us our final score from Cedar City, Utah, 40-0 in favor of the San Jose State Spartans. Let's take a look at the game statistics. Obviously, the score was very lopsided. Let's see if the rest of the stats were. First downs, 15-6 in favor of San Jose. 369 yards of total offense to our 98. 40 carries for 197 yards for the Spartans. 23 for 35 for the Thunderbirds. They were 13 of 23 for 2 touchdowns. We were 10 of 26. They had 172 passing yards. We had 63. They were 4 of 12 on third downs. We were 3 of 13. We did not reach the red zone in the entire game, and we had 3 turnovers, so that tells you the story of this one. For us, Richie Harrington, the backup quarterback, came in and played most of the second half, had a 47.4 rating, threw 2 interceptions though. Rayshawn Martin, 9 carries for 18 yards, only 2 yards per carry. Malik Brown, 8 carries for 37, a little bit better, but we did not run the ball well against San Jose State. Through the air, Frank Samft had 3 catches for 13 yards. Fa'atu Ma'ola, 2 for 10 yards. Malik Brown, 1 for 13. Norris, 2 for 11. Just not a good offensive game at all for Southern Utah. Burgess gave up a sack. Griffin gave up a sack on the offensive line. And on the defensive side of the football, James Cowser had a pretty good game. 5 tackles, 2 for a loss, 2 sacks on the day. And Tommy Collette Jr. finished with 8 tackles, 1 TFL. Punting, Brock Miller was very busy. 8 punts for 295 yards, a 36.8-yard average, an average net of just over 31 yards. Griff McNabb, 5 kick returns for 144 yards, a 28.8-yard average, and a long of 48. He continues to flirt with a kickoff return touchdown. 2 punt returns for 8 yards is all for McNabb. And for San Jose State, Kenny Potter, 13 of 23, 172 yards, 2 touchdowns. A 148 rating for San Jose. Deontay Cooper, 21 carries for 125 yards, a 5.9-yard average on the ground, scored a touchdown. Malik Robertson with a touchdown, and Kenny Potter chipped in 65 yards on the ground for San Jose State. Tyler Winston, again, not super involved in the offense, only 2 catches for 25 yards, but both of those catches went for touchdowns. After we talked about Billy Freeman in the pregame show, as a receiving tight end, he finishes with 2 pancake blocks and had a pretty good day blocking for the Spartans. Jeremy Kelly had 2 interceptions. Took 1 back for a touchdown just before halftime, and he finished with 7 tackles on the day. Christian Tago had 5 tackles and a sack. Crawford, 1 for 1 on field goals from 35 yards out, and he was 5 of 5 on extra points. Carrizosa, the punter, 6 punts for 255 yards. A 42.5-yard average and a net of just over 31. So he did force San Jose to punt 6 times. That's pretty good. Crawley, 1 kick return for 44 yards. Johnson, 1 for 33 yards. And Crawley, 4 punt returns for 51 yards, a 12.7-yard average. So this week is a good week to put behind us as we start to look forward to next week. But the game of the week, CPU versus CPU, is number 25 Utah at BYU from Provo. Alright, so we will cap this week off with a rivalry game from Provo, Utah. It's called the Holy War. Number 25, Utah, and BYU from LaVell Edwards Stadium. Taysom Hill, the quarterback for BYU, he gets hit, drops the football, and it's picked up by a Utah linebacker who's going to scoop and score for the 25th ranked Utes, and that is Kavika Luafatasaga. Luafatasaga, I think is how you say that name. I don't know, Polynesians. Taysom Hill down the right side. Catch is made there by Nick Kurtz for 37 yards. BYU trying to even up the score at 7-0 Utes. Here's Taysom Hill, gives to Jamal Williams on the right side, and Williams is stacked up. Brings up 4th down, and BYU will have to attempt a chip shot field goal, which they make, cutting the score to 7-3. Taysom Hill now with 2:37 to go in the first, under center. Receiver in motion. Taysom drops back, looks over to the left side, and catch is made down to about the 10-yard line by Alema Pilami. 3rd down and 6 for the Cougars. Trying to take the lead. Taysom Hill out to the right side to Mitchell Juergens, who makes the catch and gets into the end zone for the 7-yard touchdown, and BYU takes the lead 10-7. Utah would tie it up at 10 with 6:34 to go in the second quarter. Taysom Hill, screen pass to the left side to Squally Canada. He's got blockers in front of him, and he goes in untouched on the left side for the 22-yard touchdown. BYU goes out 17-10. Utah trying to answer on the next possession. Joe Williams up the middle. Joe Williams again on the right side, cuts it back, picks up 7. Here is quarterback Troy Williams into BYU territory. Joe Williams again, the running back, doesn't get much on that one. 2nd down and 7. Here's another give to Joe Williams, and he is just short of the 1st down. Backup quarterback Tyler Huntley in now, and Huntley gets the 1st down on 3rd and 1. Here's the give to Joe Williams again. Utah keeping it on the ground in this drive. Here's a give up the middle to McCormick. 1st down and goal for the Utes. The give to McCormick again, down to the 1. And here is Huntley. Huntley is stopped at the goal line and brings up 3rd down and goal. And Huntley's going to keep it in for the touchdown to tie the game at 17. Utah not throwing a single pass on that drive, ties it up with 1:23 to go in the second now. Utes have it again. Williams pitches it to Joe Williams, and look at him run through BYU defenders into the end zone. 9-yard touchdown for Joe Williams. And Utah jumps out to a 24-17 lead at the halftime break. Second half action now. Utah with the ball. Williams trying to throw the screen pass, and it's picked off there by Lake. Lake to the 40, to the 30. And he's going to go all the way to pick 6 for Lake. And BYU knocks up the score at 24. Utah has it again. Troy Williams, screen pass over to the right side to Joe Williams. Gets a nice block. He's down inside the 40, inside the BYU 30-yard line. And that would lead to a 44-yard field goal attempt with 3:08 to go in the third. Kick is up, and it is good, and Utah takes a 27-24 lead here at LaVell Edwards Stadium in Provo. BYU has it now, 1st down and 10. Taysom Hill throws it. It's tipped and picked off by Dominic Hatfield. Dominic Hatfield with the interception, and puts Utah deep in BYU territory. The BYU defense would hold, though, and forced Utah to attempt a short field goal, which they make, making the score 30-24 late in the game. Utah just needing a 1st down. Troy Williams gets it on the read option, and they're able to run out the clock on the Cougars. Utah wins the Holy War 30-24 here from Rice-Eccles Stadium. And the battle for the Beehive boot likely goes to Utah here. I'm not sure which of these teams play Utah State on the season, but Joe Williams, 22 carries, 146 yards. And Utah beats BYU 30-24. In the Holy War is between BYU and Utah. The battle for the Beehive Boot is between Utah State, Utah, and BYU. All right, the top 10. Clemson beat North Carolina State. They take on Wake Forest this week. They are ranked number 1. Oklahoma is at Notre Dame in a big game. Florida State, LSU, Tennessee, Ohio State, Houston, UCLA, Alabama round out the top 10. Here is 11 through 20. Oklahoma State, North Carolina, Washington, Baylor, USC, Texas A&M, Michigan, Georgia, Miami, and Iowa. A big game ahead of us as Georgia hosts LSU between the hedges. And 20 through 25 is Iowa, Washington State, Utah, TCU, Texas, and Ole Miss break into the top 25. Ole Miss will play Alabama this week in a big matchup. All right, that does it for the game wrap-up of the San Jose week. Up next, we have the Troy Trojans from Troy, Alabama. Look for the game preview to come out tomorrow, and the game will be the day after that here on Mama's Basement Sports Gaming.